Okay. Good, so I've got you all on here. Let's see. Lovely. All right, my lovelies, come up to stand then. We will begin as we normally do. So just the same as usual, because this is a flowing practice, what's the word I'm looking for? It assumes that you've got a little bit of prior yoga experience, but if you get stuck, don't hesitate to ask. Just come on off of mute and ask a question, that sort of thing. But rest whenever you feel that you need to rest. So come into child's pose or rest in down dog. If you want to leave a little vinyasa sequence out, you can always pop yourself into down dog or similar. Okay, so one foot behind the other, and you are going to roll on the top of your toes like this. So you're really giving, if I turn around, you're rolling the heel in a circle, drawing a heel in a circle, but rolling onto the top of your foot, so that you're just allowing the toes a little extra bit of flexion, little extra stretch. Go the other way now. It might feel a little bit tricky to go backwards, so to speak. But it's so good for waking up the spine, so good for waking up into the hips, especially this big toe joint. So I can't emphasize how important these movements are. Let's swap feet, please. So take the other foot slightly behind and do exactly the same. All right, and so because this is something that we do every week, we do every early morning practice, you will expect to do something a little bit like this with me. So let's roll the other way. And the idea is that you're lubricating your joints. You're just getting them ready for your practice, ready for weight bearing, ready for moving, ready for supporting you. Okay, one or two more circles in this way. Good job. And then just come back. Spread out your toes. Pop your big toe joints together, outside edges of the feet parallel. Bend the knees a little bit and just have the hands above the knees. And then circling the knees, please. Just go round and round and watch your feet. Watch the feet as they move, as they articulate with the floor. Lovely. And then change direction. All good. Keep watching your feet. They don't have to stay flat. They certainly don't need to grip the floor for dear life. You can let them move. Excellent. And then come up to stand. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Send the front of the hip bones forwards. Lift the heart up. Take the shoulders backwards. And look up. Lift the chin. That's great. And then come back down again. Back into that same position. I'm going to turn to the side. Big toe joints together, outside edges of the feet parallel, knees bent. And now the legs stay stationary. And with your tailbone, I want you to draw a circle in the air behind you. So your hips are going in a lovely circle, lovely circular movement, okay? And you can feel your abdomen. Feel the muscles between the navel and the pubic bones working here. And if you like, you could think about Mula Bandha, that root lock that lives in the vaginal walls for women. So we're all females on the practice today. So think about sort of squeezing and lifting up from within your body, not from the external, not from the pelvic floor, but a little bit deeper than that. Okay, and then go the other way. No pause today, no rest. Let's just see if we can keep the momentum going and build a little bit of heat into the practice, into your movements. So really great. You can probably feel the heat building. You feel your legs working. You might get a bit tired doing this. That's okay, that's normal. All right. And then come back up to stand. Just let yourself grow. Send the front of the hips forwards. Lift the heart up. Open the arms out. Look up to the ceiling. And then bring your hands to your heart. And just pause for a moment, regaining your upright position. And then separate your feet to about hips width apart. Link your fingers, elbows together, and you are pumping your forearms up and down. So elbows moving up and down, up and down. And as you do this, your wrists will roll in circles. Okay? So keep going with that. Build up a little bit of speed. Very nice. Good, and then release, swing it out. So just turning sideways on so that you can see me a little bit more easily. Change the cross of the fingers, same thing, but see if you can circle the wrists in the opposite direction. So the first time they probably went away from you, it's most common. This time the circling is probably happening towards you. Again, it will feel easier, one side, more natural, same with the feet. Okay, and release, give the arms a little bit of a swing. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side again so that you can see me. One arm is going to go in a big backward circle, a bit like you're swimming, and make sure that your torso is allowed to move with this. So you're not stiff, you're not rigid, there's a certain sense of fluidity throughout your body. And then with your other arm, so let this happen without you even thinking about it, with your other arm go forwards. So you'll need a little bit of space, make sure that you're not going to clatter into walls next to you or in front or behind. And good, well done, you're doing this brilliantly everyone, love it. Love all your windmill arms. Don't worry if both arms are going backwards or both arms are going forwards. It does get easier. You should have one arm going forwards, one arm going backwards. Good. And release. Now just swing it from side to side now. And notice that there's a little bit of bend to my knees. My sit bones are dipping just a tiny bit as I allow my legs to act as shock absorbers. And this is important because when we bend the knees, the ligaments around the knee joint allow for a little bit of twist in the knee. If your knee is dead straight, then that isn't there, that potential to move, potential to rotate. So we have got a little bit of movement within the knee joint. It is okay, and that's why we bend the knees. All right, slow it down. Come back to the center. And you're going to do the same with the other arms. So for me, it's my left arm. I'm going to go backwards. And I'm going to let that happen without me having to think about it. Okay? This is like I'm swimming backwards. Then the other arm, crawling forwards. If you've got a shoulder injury, just be extra careful. Maybe you want to make these a little bit smaller or adapt it so that it works better for your body. Nice, good. Again, keep making sure the torso remains slightly fluid. There's a little bit of movement if you're moving side to side, but appreciate your feet, appreciate how they're holding you steady. Nice. And then find a little bit more space in the room so that you really have got room around you. And now we're going to swing for a little while longer. So you're letting your body really turn, keeping the knees soft and the pelvis is kind of dipping up and down. And as you swing, the arms are stretching, the arms are lengthening. Because of the force of your rotation, it feels like you're just putting extra spaces all around the joints in the shoulder. Maybe the rib cage feels good for doing this. Release any tension into the neck. Let the jaw be soft. Make sure you're smiling when you're doing this. You've got the lovely support of the earth beneath you, and this is allowing you to rise upwards. So when you swing, have a lift to the arms. Feel like they're moving higher up. Okay, this might change how quickly you rotate, or it might slow it down. But think about the arms actually going up in the air, up and out, up and to the sides, lifting all the energy upwards. Good. Very nice. And it's like you can give yourself a little bit of a pat on the back or a pat on the shoulder. Give yourself a little well done for being here, for tuning in 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we will start to slow this down. Good. So don't come into a stop in any kind of a hurry. Just come into a stop slowly. And when you get there, close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, even though you look still on the outside, the thing that feels the best is the continual movement. You might be able to feel it around the very edges of your skin, or perhaps it's at your fingertips. Perhaps it's the blood moving around, the heart beating. You can feel your pulse, feel your breath. Just take another big breath in. Open the mouth and sigh it all out. Okay, so you can keep your eyes closed for this. You're just going to release the neck a little bit. So I'd like you to side bend your head, your neck, over it so your ear is coming closer towards one shoulder. Always interesting this is to see how much mobility people have in their necks. And then keeping your chin fairly close to your body, I want you to sweep it in a semicircle and over towards the other shoulder, but then return your head into a side bend on this side. And as you can see, for me, this side, much more mobility than the other side. Interesting, isn't it? Chin comes towards the chest, and you roll the shoulder back over to the other side. And it's like, oh, where's all that mobility gone? Why am I so stuck on this side? And then back towards the other. And that's what I want you to start to recognize in yourself. Where are you holding tension? Where is there mobility in your body? Let's go from side to side another couple of times. Where are you lacking mobility? Where do you need to be extra kind to yourself because you're feeling stuck, feeling tight? Is this repetitive because of an action that you're taking regularly, whether it's carrying a bag across one shoulder or relying on one arm to do something or one half of your body to work harder? Okay, the next time you come towards the center, just leave your chin in the center, leave it towards your chest. And then doesn't matter where you are on your mat, but make sure your feet are about hips width apart. Bend your knees and start to, like your arms are still those really long, stretched out, lengthened arms. Let's let yourself dangle down towards the ground, slowly curling down, but make sure that your knees are fairly deeply bent here, okay? So no straight legs, just looking for nice sort of length into the back of the spine, the back of the neck. Let the head hang here, let the back of the arms touch the back of the hands, so we touch the floor. So there's no pressure, you're not straining, the elbows are soft, the tummy rests towards the thighs. There's no real effort here in the spine, it's all in the legs. Okay, so now placing your hands on the floor, somewhere near the top of your mat, about shoulder width apart, and just walk your feet backwards, please, into a downward dog. So just find a nice, easy, soft place with bent knees and start to press into the hands. And think about the outer upper arms, so the triceps. I want you to squeeze them inwardly towards your ears. Even though they're on the outside of your arms, I want you to think about them hugging inwards. And then think about your tailbone lifting up, and we'll have a little dance with the heels. So pedal the heels, one heel presses down, the other knee bends, and go side to side. And really enjoy this movement into the sides of your waist. You can twist a little bit, you can stretch out, you can lean to the sides. Just go in a way that feels good for you. Put the spaces into your body. That's really good, everybody. Okay, so just be here for another couple of breaths. Lovely stuff. Okay, now when you're ready, float your shoulders over your wrists. Just hold this position here. Now if your bottom's gone right up in the air, just wiggle your toes back a little bit. Make sure your shoulders are over your arms. Your heels are pressing backwards. And there's a little bit of lift to the tummy, a little bit of lift to the front body. Okay, now pop your knees down onto the floor. And think about slightly turning the elbow creases forwards. So then you don't want them facing each other, you want them facing slightly forwards. And allow your upper body to lower all the way down between the arms towards the ground. Okay, when you get there, untuck your toes, lengthen your legs out behind you, and then squeeze the legs, squeeze the buttocks, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings. Your feet might want to lift off the floor, that's okay. Take a breath in here, lift your upper body into cobra pose. And as you breathe out, gently come back down. So keep the legs super firm, keep squeezing the glutes. Breathe in, squeeze, 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 squeeze the glutes. And breathe out, gently come down. One more time, breathing in, coming up, legs firm, all about the legs. And gently come down. Okay, come up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, find that downward dog, and give yourself a little stretch out again here. So we've lengthened the back body, we've contracted the back body, now we're lengthening again. Okay, let's walk the feet gently upwards towards the hands, and allow the upper body to hang forwards over the front of the legs again. Soft knees all the time, soft knees, chin to chest. And then slowly rolling upwards to stand. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart and then traveling them all the way upwards. Looking up towards your thumbs. And as you breathe out, bringing the hands down to rest in front of your heart. And just pausing here for a moment, closing your eyes, letting your breath settle, and reminding yourself of your intention for your practice. It's always nice to set an intention early on in your practice. Why are you here? What's got you onto your mat this morning? Is it a personal endeavour? Or perhaps if this is just a routine, this has become something that you look forward to, then maybe you could dedicate your practice to someone else who you think might need the energetic boost that your practice could give them. Okay, so have that person in mind, and then take an inhalation and lift your hands all the way back up, breathe in. As you breathe out, bend your knees, come all the way down to the ground. Head hangs, fingertips release down, knees soft. You can lift the sit bones a little bit now if you want. Then put the hands onto the shins just below the knees. Breathe in and lengthen the arms, lift the sit bones, lift the heart for Ardha Uttanasana. Place the hands back down onto the floor, stepping back into a high plank, so that nice long position. Shoulders over the wrists, heels back. Then you can pop your knees down onto the floor, and you can take your bottom backwards if you want, but remember that turn slightly forwards at the inner elbow creases, and you bring your heart, so notice how my back has dipped. I want you to lift the back of your kidneys to the ceiling a little bit and engage your tummy muscles. Keep them engaged, and lower all the way down. Untuck the legs and breathe in. Squeeze the glutes, lift up. Come down. Come up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes. Find yourself into a downward dog again. So we're back here fairly quickly, but we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So remember, I want you to press into the hands, press into the the thumb and the index finger side of your palms. I want you to squeeze the triceps towards the sides of your head. Bring the chin towards your chest. Lift the tailbone, but at the same time lengthen the heels downwards towards the ground. Draw the navel in, keep the front of the ribs in, don't let them splay out. Breathe into the back of your body. Loads to think about when we're here, but such benefit from this pose. You're going to take one more lovely breath. And then looking forwards, walking your feet upwards towards your hands. Good, let yourself hang down towards the legs. Then inhale, hands come to prayer, and then rise the prayer all the way up. Think of that person that your energy is going to go to. Bring the hands back down as you breathe out. Lovely. And again, coming all the way up, breathe in. Breathe out all the way back down to the floor. Find some Ujjayi breath, breathe in. Lift heart, look forwards. Breathe out, hands to the floor. Step or jump your way back into a high plank. Okay, so those of you that want to stick with you coming down onto your belly, you can do. Those of you that want to chaturanga, you're turning your inner elbow creases forwards. The shoulders come forward. Keep the tummy engaged. Press the heels back. Hold this here. And then lower down. Untuck your toes. Firm legs, so really strong legs. Squeeze the glutes, lift the heart and take it forwards and up for upward dog. Then strong legs remain, coming over and back into a downward dog when you're ready. So that's everybody, whether you did your Bhujangasana or whether you did upward dog. Just come back carefully and think about all the same cues. So slight softness to the knees, pressing downwards through the heels. Lifting the tailbone, but keeping the front ribs in. It's not like you're trying to overarch your back. You're not trying to create a back bend here. You're trying to create length and let the head hang. So the head needs to hang down so that it creates a bit of traction, creates that little bit of lengthening sense of the weight of your head. Nice. Okay, so let's look forwards towards the hands. Let's inhale, either step or walk your feet up, step or jump your feet up. You can come into a halfway lift on arrival. As you exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, come all the way up, breathe in. Breathe out, hands to heart. Good. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit warmer now. We're going to add some bits and pieces in now as we flow. And remember, you can always, through that middle vinyasa sequence, if you want to come onto knees, chin, chest, and into Bhujangasana instead of chaturanga, or if you want to leave that bit out completely, just rest or stay in down dog or child's pose. Okay, so hands at your heart and breathe. Find that lovely steady Ujjayi breath and see whether that can help to contain your practice. You move with your breath. Don't worry so much about keeping up with me. Go at your pace. This is your practice. Okay, so let's inhale. Let's come all the way up. Breathe in. Let's breathe out. Come down to the ground, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands to the floor. If you want, you can jump your feet back or step back into plank. Roll forwards, chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. Upward dog or cobra, your choice. Downward dog when you're ready. Okay, let's sweep the right foot up to the sky. Just hold this here for a moment. Press the left heel down to the ground. Turn the right hip out to the side slightly. Turn the toes out to the sides. Just see how high you can get your right leg towards the ceiling. Then leveling your hips slightly, take your right foot forwards towards the top of your mat and drop your left heel down to the ground. Lift up onto the right thigh, making sure the knee is above the ankle. Tailbone down, front of the hips up, low ribs remain in. Breathe in and bring the hands upwards towards the ceiling. Very nice. Either stay here Those that want to can gently press back through the left heel, lifting the knee off of the floor. Staying here for an extra breath, just finding that lovely long lunge. Knee down or knee lifted, your choice. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, lower the hands down to the floor, and the right foot's going to step back and up to the ceiling again. So all the way up. Take it all the way out to the side, turn the hip a little bit, lift the foot, really activate through the sole of the foot, through the big toe joint. Good job. And then again, step it forwards to the top of your mat. Same foot, same side. Left knee comes down to the floor. Leave the left hand on the floor. Turn your body to the right. You can put your right hand onto the back of your hips, back of your sacrum, and it can stay there if you want. Or some of you might enjoy taking the arms straight up to the sky, and you can look up towards your thumb. Final few add-ons, tucking under the left toes. Send the left heel back. Press back through the left heel and keep turning at the rib cage, bending the right knee. Okay, good job. One more lovely breath here. And then gently, hand comes down. Same thing, right foot straight up to the ceiling, please. So all the way back. Turning the right hip a little bit. Bending the right knee, bringing the heel towards your bottom, but lifting the knee up to the ceiling now as you press even more strongly down through the left heel. Really lift the right knee up. Good. And then you can level off the hips. And maybe you want to pedal the heels a little bit in downward dog. Nice. All right. And then we'll keep evening off the hips by stepping the feet up towards the top of the mat. Feet about hips width apart, bend the knees, let the upper body hang, let the head hang. And then breathe in, hands to heart, come up to stand. Look thumbs, and breathe out, hands to heart. Okay, just as you pause for a moment, notice right leg, notice left leg. Good. Take a breath. And let's go again. Breathe in. Hands lift up. Reach them up. Breathe out. Come all the way down. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Watch how you're getting a little bit more flexible. Breathe out. Hands to floor. See if you can come up onto your tiptoes and lift your heels off of the ground. Your knees are coming towards the back of your arms. Don't worry if you feel a bit wobbly. If you want, you can jump back from here by springing up off of your toes and taking your feet back. Or you can just step back. Knees, chin, chest to Bhujangasana or Chaturanga. Strong body, upward dog, heart moving forwards, arms lifting, lengthening, and then downward dog, everybody. Okay, so draw the navel in, keep the low ribs in, lift the tailbone, press into the hands. Very nice, well done everyone, doing great. Left foot, lift it up. Turn the left foot out, left hip out to the side slightly and reach up through towards the ceiling, pressing the right heel down to the ground. And then leveling the hips, stepping the left foot through. Right knee comes to the floor. Make sure that you have an opportunity to lunge here. Left knee above the hip, coming up, stabilizing the pelvis, front of the hips lifting up, breathing in, hands lift. You've got option to keep the hands at the heart if you prefer. Remember, you can leave the right knee on the floor or send the right heel back. Nice long stretch back through the right leg. Hold this here, keep breathing. Good. As you breathe out, lower the hands to the floor, step the left foot up to the ceiling, out behind you, three-legged dog pose. Spinning the hips to the side, reaching up, activate the whole of the left foot, spread out the toes and really feel like you're holding the ceiling up. And then step the foot forwards through to the hands again, and right knee comes down. Right hand on the floor with the fingers maybe turned out. I like to have the fingers turned out to the side myself, so you don't have to have the hands forwards, you don't have to have them confined onto your mat, use the outside edge. Turning the rib cage to the left hand lifting up or resting onto the back body if you prefer. If you want a slightly bigger stretch for the glutes, send the right heel back again and keep activating this rotation from the rib cage. So feel like you've got a basket here and you're turning this whole space around as you keep pressing backwards through the right heel. Good. One more lovely breath here. You've got this. Well done. And then we're going to come back to the left hand comes back down. Ground the hands. Take the left foot all the way up to the ceiling again. Reach it up. Then bending the heel towards the bottom, but lifting the right knee up all the way up. Pressing into the hands. Pressing the right heel down to the ground. Keep lifting the knee. Good job. And then popping the foot back down onto the floor. Well done. Just have a little pedal through the heels. Okay. So we're going to do some little bunny hops here. All right. So make sure that your hands are about hips, shoulder width apart. And these can be little baby ones if you want, or you can bend your knees and get a little bit, so get your heels towards your bottom and just see whether you can do maybe 5 of these little bunny hops up and then come down, press back into downward dog. Well done. Okay, let's look forwards. Let's walk the feet up towards the top of the mat, hang the head down. And then breathe in, come all the way up. Hands reach, hands to heart, breathe. Good. Enjoy your heart beating. Enjoy all that loveliness, all that energy moving around still. Remind yourself of who you're practicing for. If it's not for you, if you've dedicated it to somebody else. All right to practice for yourself, by the way. Okay, so let's breathe in, hands lift. Breathe out, gently come down all the way to the floor. Halfway lift on the next inhale, hands to shins. Breathe out. Let's see if we can do that same bunny hop here, okay? So bending the knees, lifting the heels. You might have to have your feet a little bit further back or your hands a little bit further forwards, but just see if you can get your heels to your bottom. 5 of these. And then the last one, feet back all the way down to the end of the mat. Nice, I'm loving it. Well done, everybody. That's awesome. Put both knees onto the floor. Take your bottom back towards your heels and just turn your palms up towards the ceiling as you bow your head down and move backwards through your tailbone. Just feel that kind of nice stretch, maybe underneath the arms towards the edges of the ribcage. Okay, come up, back to your all fours position. Take your right foot forwards. Okay, so familiar place that we've been in today. Tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee off of the floor. So you could stay here, but I want to add a little dimension into the outer hips. So place the left fingers so they turned out slightly to the side. And with your right toes, roll them out to the side too. So it's the sole of your right foot that is facing the top of your mat roughly. Now automatically, the sole of your left foot is also going to want to face the back of your mat. So roll onto the outside edge of your back foot. So you're on the outside edges of both feet. Okay, now from here you might need to play with where your left hand is on the floor. You could put your right hand onto your hip. You could take your right hand up to the ceiling. And it might be that that is enough. Lift your left hip to the ceiling. So keep lifting it up away from the floor. Notice that feel here in the right side. And then lower the left outer thigh towards the ground. Good. Now come back up. Lift it up. Lift, lift, lift. And come back down. Nice. You can rest the hand, remember, on the side of your body if you need to. One more time, coming down. Good. And then coming back up. Now this is the fun bit. Can you drag your straight left leg? So you might need to get a bit of momentum, but can you drag the outside edge of your foot all the way back so you come into a forward fold? Yeah, have a little bit of a play, well done. Rise up, breathe in, come all the way up. And hands to heart. Again, as you pause for a moment and close your eyes, notice right hip, right glutes compared to left. Nice. Okay, so let's rise up, breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, come all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in, lengthen heart, lift low ribs in, draw navel. All these foundational things that become so simple. Step or jump your way back into a plank. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest, cobra or upward dog, your choice. Come and meet me in downward dog. And draw the low ribs in, draw the navel in, press back through the back of the thighs. Lift the left foot up to the ceiling. It's a slightly different way of coming in. Come forwards with the left foot. Leave the right knee off of the ground. Spin on both feet so that you're on the outside edges of both feet. Outside edge of the left foot with the sole facing the top of your mat. Outside edge of the right foot with the sole of your foot facing the end of the mat. Hand on the hip or hands up, and then lift to the right hip. This is the key, because when you get this, it's like, oh yes, here we are. And then gently, you might need to play with where your right hand is, lowering the hip down towards the floor. Then coming back up again, trying to stay on the outside edges of the feet, and coming back down. Good. One more time, you've got this. Coming up and down. Now this time, come up, lift the right hip loads, left hand can come down, and then drag the outside edge, or drag my mat with me. Come up to the top of your mat, forward fold. And then inhale, come all the way up, rising up again, hands lift. Breathe out, hands lower. Very nice. Okay, one more time, breathe in. Breathe out, all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, step or jump your way back to plank. Chaturanga or skip out your vinyasa. Upward dog. Meet me in downward dog now, please. All right, okay. So a little last bit of weight bearing on the upper body. I want you to spin both toes to the left. You can stack the left leg on top of the right leg, lift the left arm up to the ceiling, and then cartwheel it alongside your ear and reach into the left fingertips. You can put your left foot on the floor in front of you like I am now, if you need a bit of extra support. One more breath here. Very good. Keep lifting up the right hip and then gently lowering down. Other side. Spin the toes, one foot in front of the other, or stacking the feet, or right foot in front, your choice. Okay, keep lifting the left hip and then cartwheeling the right arm alongside your ear and breathing. Feel the tone in the side of the waist, reaching into the fingertips. One more breath. Good, and then gently release, well done. Back to downward dog, just pedal it out. Good, and float your knees down onto the ground. Untuck your toes and take a little rest. Just bowing down. You can bring your hands round by your ankles, shoulders round by your knees, and breathe. Good job, everybody, well done. So just a couple more breaths here. Enjoy all this lovely stillness. Good job. And then I'd like you to lift yourself up and come over so that you are lying on your back. Okay, super stuff. Bring your heels in towards your bottom just for the moment. Hands a little distance away from your sides. And just easily rock your knees from side to side. Maybe turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees. As you just bring the body into a calmer, easier state. Nothing quite beats a lie down, does it? Okay, so one more on each side. Very good. And then hugging the knees in towards your chest. Well done. Keep a hold of the left knee and take the right foot straight up to the ceiling. Take the foot down towards the floor, keeping the tummy muscles engaged, keeping the lower back flat onto the ground. Then when you're ready, gently lifting the leg back up to the ceiling, turning the toes out wide to the side. And now if you've got the space, letting your leg drop out wide. Coming back up, using your tummy muscles to control this, straightening up the knee and then lowering the leg back down. Keep it low to the floor, and if you've got space, take it all the way out wide, turning the toes. Use your tummy to control this as you bring the leg back up to the ceiling. So we're going to go in a big circle now. Leg goes straight down to the end of the mat, and then turning the toes slightly out wide to the side. Keep reaching out through the foot, but use your tummy muscles to control this so you're not wobbling everywhere. Do one more of these, lowering the leg down and bringing it out wide. Nice long leg, active all the way through all the muscles of the leg. Good. And then bend the knee. Swap sides. So adjust your position if you need a bit of extra space. Left foot straight up. Keep the lower back flat, tummy muscles engaged. Lower the leg just down to the end of your mat. Come back up to the ceiling. And then this time, turn the toes out slightly and let the leg roll out all the way to the left-hand side. Okay, now bring it back up to the ceiling. Now lower it straight down to the end of your mat again, keeping the lower back flat, tummy muscles working, then reaching the leg out wide, out wide, out wide, and then it comes all the way up. Let's try and keep the pelvis stable. Coming all the way down. We're going to do two more of these, stretching all the way out, and then all the way back round. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and lift. One more time, lowering the legs, tummy muscles working hard here, lower back staying flat. Out wide to the side, big circles. You lift the foot back up. Good, and then bring the knees into the chest. Lovely stuff. Have a hug in with the knees, a little rock from side to side. Okay, so you can put your hands onto the back of your body. Take both feet up towards the ceiling. Keep the tummy muscles nice and strong. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lower the legs down towards the floor. And you can't keep the tummy muscles engaged, the lower back flat. That's when you stop moving the legs down, and you inhale and you bring them back up to the ceiling. So as you exhale, gently lowering down, down, down. Pausing when you can't control the torso, and then inhaling to bring the heels up. See if you can flex the ankles this time. When you come down, hold it, hold it, hold it. See if you can keep the tummy working hard, and then point the toes as you breathe in and bring the feet back up. Flex the ankles, lower the heels down, keep going. We're going to do one more after this. Point the toes, Come all the way up, breathe in. Last one, breathing out. Lowering, 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 lowering. Point the toes. Come back up. Superb. Hug the knees in. And then holding each kneecap, you might want to do circles with the knees in the air. And then changing the direction. Good. Well done. And then rolling over to one side. Coming round and up to sit. And would you look at that? We're finishing on time today. So come to a seated position. Excuse the hair going all crazy. Find any comfortable seat that you feel happy in. Take your fingertips to the floor. Breathe in and bring the hands all of the way up above your head. And breathe out, bring the hands to your heart. Pause here, close the eyes. Relax the shoulders and be soft in your jaw. Take a nice big breath in. Open the mouth and sigh the breath away. Good. Do this one more time. And then returning the breath to the nostrils, letting the chin bow towards your chest. Just pausing here for one final reflection on either who you set your intention for. Was it yourself? Was it somebody else? Just send the energy, the positive feel of your practice out towards them. Now, if you've got time and you want to stay and sit and meditate, or perhaps take a lie down in the Shavasana for 5 minutes, then please take that opportunity if it's there for you. However, if you are needing to get off, needing to go off with your day, we'll finish together now. So let's take an inhalation, let's open the eyes, let's lift the hands up, and as you breathe out, namaste to you all. Good job. Thank you for coming and sharing your practice with me this morning, and I hope you have a really fabulous day. All right.